Welcome back to 630 Point of View. Tonight in the Hot Box, the topic is, can women have it all? Recently, a magazine called The Atlantic had released this article, Why Women Still Can't Have It All. The Atlantic's been around since 1897. This is the most read article ever in the history of the magazine. If you have not read it, do yourself a favor and do it. It was written by Anne Marie Slaughter. She was the first woman director of policy planning at the State Department with Hillary Clinton. With me to talk more about this topic, we've got Jana Myrdal, the North Dakota State Director from Concerned Women for America, and Andrea Larson, a new news anchor here at Valley News Live. To both of you, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Jana, I want to start with you. This article to me, for whatever reason, was fascinating. Do you agree with this title? Can women not basically have it all in today's society?
Well, it isn't whether you agree with the title or not. I think that the whole premise of the title is false.
In what way?
Because how do you quantify or qualify all? I mean, do you have it all? Do I have it all? Does Condoleezza Rice have it all? And I hate to hear that it's the most read article. It's very interesting, and I enjoyed reading it, and I'm going to challenge it a little bit, little me from North Dakota, because I think the premise is wrong. And I think back from the 60s and 70s, that experiment of having it all, if you will, of feminism, of the liberal side of feminism, has failed women. And she admits to that there. She says the 20, 30-year-olds. I think it has failed women in the fact that on two levels. Number one, there is no such thing as have it all. I disagree with that whole thing. The other thing is that I've talked about with you before, and we can have that discussion, is I hate women being put in this box of victimhood all the time. I am not a victim when I wake up in the morning because of my gender. And yes, we do have to work a little harder, put a little bit more makeup on than you guys do, and kind of try to look cuter, because we're women, so what? But then
doesn't that in and of itself put you in a box? Because you're saying, I have to do all these things.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And I think, do men have it all? Does Chris Berg have it all?
We'll discuss that. No. Andrea, I want to get your thoughts on this article.
I think that having it all, it should be your personal feelings. I think if having it all means that you are going to stay at home with your kids and you've got it all, perfect. Absolutely. If having it all means you're going to work and someone else will take care of your kids, perfect. I mean, it really should be your personal feelings instead of letting society dictate to you what you should feel or do.
Absolutely.
And that leads me to my next question. I think you two are much more evolved maybe than some other women out there, if you will, or most people, from the standpoint that when you look at this article and you got to ask the question, so do the feminists of the 60s and 70s basically set up your generation to fail, meaning that they came out there and had this mantra of, you can have it all, you can have it all. And I bring this up because a lot of moms I talk to say they struggle so much internally where they're like, look, I want to go after this career, I'm very talented, but something's telling me I also got to take care of my kids and my family. Andrea?
Yeah, I think there is a gut feeling, more so with women than men, that says, oh, I just really need to be home with my kids. They need me now. Just maybe a little nurturing thing. Sometimes I feel that, and even though my husband's really great with our child, I think that, yeah, maybe I have it a little bit more than he does. But I don't know if the 60s and 70s, the women then set us up for failure.
No, and again, I don't want to play that blame game, if you will. Yeah. I don't think they did. I go back to what Andrea said. It's personal choice, and it's the liberty of the individual, and that's what it goes back to. Don't pull me in.
I understand that.
So no, but listen. So if I choose to become a mother and start a family, somehow it's not all about me anymore, Chris. And I think moms out there and families out there, and as my friend here said too, it is about your child or your children, and so you make choices. And I think in the article, kudos to her, because she talks about choose that time. We have opportunity to do that. And I think by victimizing us and by saying the 60s and 70s ruined it for us, I think we're dishonoring the women that fought for the liberties that we have, the Susan B. Anthonys, that I'm thankful for, because I don't have to sacrifice like they did, because I feel like we have the freedom and liberties that they
But there's a lot
for.
of women out there. A great book that I actually read some of, and I want to get your comments on this, Andrea, that it's called Midlife Crisis at 30, written by two women that basically said, look, I'm going through my life, I'm going after to achieve, because that's what my mom said to do. You don't need a man, go achieve career-wise. And all of a sudden I hit my mid-30s, and that baby bell went off, and I was like, here I am with this career with nobody to make a baby with, and they went through this early depression. I know you have kids. Did you ever go through that with a career as well, or do you know people that have gone?
One.
You clarify that.
I would love one of yours. Don't tell my
kids
I said that.
Did you ever find yourself going through this push-pull thing, or do you know women that have at least?
Oh yeah, daily I go through that push-pull thing. Oh, you know, I'm at my career. I love my job. I should be, maybe I should be home with my child. He needs me today. Yeah. But you know, you have to find a balance. You have to have a great spouse, a great job. You know, maybe you've also worked at jobs where you've worked with supervisors who are so accommodating. You know, they'll do anything, no matter if you're single or if you're married. You know, sometimes single people need to be with a sick parent. Parents need to be with their kids. If you can find some kind of balance, Yeah.
Well, and
Do you
again,
think-
it goes back to personal choice, though,
Right,
Chris. It
right,
goes back
right.
to the individual family.
I
Now,
understand that.
I got married late, so I'm quite a bit older than Andrea here. I have 3 children, and they're still in school, and I'm over 50 years old, so now everybody knows that. So I'm on that other end, but I didn't go through that depression. I just went for, I always learned to just go for it until something stumbles you, and you got to pick up and go, okay, now what do I do? And I think the other thing that maybe the 60s did more to damage us, Chris, frankly, is in this whole mentality of when I make choices and I have to eat the fruit of those choices, oh, no, somebody should take care of that. And that's one question I have with this lady who wrote this article is, well, the system should change. And I go, well, who's the system? That's each of us
Yeah,
individually.
but she's speaking specifically about when school should be taking place. You can't tell me that the industrialized school system is still effective for a, knowledge economy.
No, but again, that becomes a local thing, doesn't it? Where you get active. And as an activist in the grassroots, I mean, you see something in society, you see something like that. And she talks about companies being more family friendly. They are starting to be, and we're seeing that they are productive as they are doing that. So there's some good ideas there. But to put us all in one box and say, your clock, your biological clock is, I mean, look at Condoleezza Rice that she mentions. She's obviously chosen, I would think, to be
Quick
single and not
questions
have
for
children.
you, if you don't mind. And one of them is this: do you think that the values in our society have flipped from back in maybe the 40s, 50s? It was very family oriented. Where now, because of some of the feminist movement, you've got a lot more. You know what? I'm going to go out and focus on my career rather than family, and that's kind of tripping us up.
I'm not sure.
I mean, of course, I talk about values a lot in the policies that I work for. I go back to the thing that if you choose to have children in a family, that is the cornerstone of society. I think we absolutely agree on that. And if you see your child has a need, then you pull back, and like this author of this article did, pull back,
Fulfill the
and you
need.
do that and fulfill the
But
need.
how many women do you know that go, they ask, hey, what do you do? And they go, I'm just a mom. I'm just a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, I got that all
And
the
I
time.
think that denigrates what motherhood means.
Oh, okay, completely. They need to take that just out.
Thank you.
Yeah, they do.
So
they
what-
do.
but,
they
I,
do.
but I think I hear a lot of women saying that to women.
Oh, absolutely. I
where did
was
that
blessed
come
to be
from?
a stay-at-home mom, even though I do policy and things like that.
But
And
why
I would
would
get
women
that, oh, you
denigrate
just stay
that?
at home. But that's up to me as an individual to just
But
laugh
why would
it off.
other women
Or correct
denigrate
it.
that? Why would other women denigrate
Because
that?
they may not be informed. They
Yeah.
may not know. I mean,
And
yeah,
we did
correct
drink the
them.
Kool-Aid of the 60s and 70s.
Sure,
There's
sure.
no
Thank you.
doubt.
Last-
We drank the Kool-Aid, and we drank this have-it-all mentality. And we've also have been drinking recently politically this whole war that all women are somehow victims. I think we need to honor those who fought for our liberties, and then take those liberties, take the bulls by the horns, if you will, as women, and work a little harder.
Last question for you in brief answers, please. How would you define having it all?
Exactly what I said before, personal choice. Again, if you want to stay home with your kids, that's having it all for you, if that's your choice. If you decide to work, that's having it all for you too. We can't let society dictate to us what having it all means.
Absolutely.
that?
I ditto that, and I think liberty, individual responsibility and liberty, and I'm blessed. And we need to realize how blessed we are with these children that are given to us and focus on them.
To both of you, thanks for your time. Again, to me, just a fascinating article. If you get a chance, check it out, The Atlantic, Why Women Still Can't Have It All. And as always, please join our conversation. Go to the website, let us know your thoughts. You can call us, email us, use Twitter, 630pov.com. Stay close. Lots more coming up right here on 630 Point of View.